The Lamar Bruni Vergara Environmental Science Center has been closed due to renovation that is located here at the Fort McIntosh campus, but there's a lot of exciting things coming up for the center. Here to tell us more about it is Miss Bianca Brewster. She is the director of the center. Miss Brewster, how are you? Good to see you.
Likewise.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for inviting.
So a lot of people are familiar with the center because they've been in the past with their kids or just on their own to come see what's happening there. A lot of excitement surrounding this new renovation now. So before we get into the renovation and what's to come, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been with the center.
Okay, so I've been serving as a director for almost 3 years.
Okay.
But before then, I did start as a work study back in 2008. You can calculate that, right? So I have been very actively involved with the center for a very, very long time. I'm glad to finally be where I'm at right now.
3 years. Let's talk about pre-renovation. Before the renovation began, what was the Lamar Bruni Vergara Environmental Science Center like? What would people come for?
I mean, the center itself, it's a hidden gem in the Laredo community. Usually this center, to most of our community, especially the underserved population, it's their first encounter with wildlife. Many call it a zoo. Oh, the Laredo Zoo, the Laredo Zoo. And that these are the little kids that experience their first, like I said, wildlife encounter, and that this is their first, access to nature, especially because we have been for years having field trips, right? People come and visit. We open it up to the public. So this has been in a lot of people's hearts because, like I said, this is their first encounter. So right now, people come and visit, and they're like, "Oh, I remember when I was here as an elementary student," right? And these are memories that, these are the opportunities that we get to kind of like have the community know about wildlife. What's a wildlife in the first place?
Yeah.
What's native, what's invasive, what's an exotic species. So this is their first kind of like feel for that. We also have the Paso del Lindo Trail. Okay, so that's also a nature trail. I think it's also still part of the Texas Parks and Wildlife, but we do kind of monitor it, right? So this trail also has been part of the Environmental Science Center. We get a lot of birders. We have a birding station, so we get people from all over the country that come to just bird along our river in this certain spot because it's a very birdy area. So we get a lot of.
Is that because it's by the river?
It is by the river, and it's in the path for the migration. So, so we, especially in the winter times, we do get a lot of birds that travel through here, and people come just to check them off their list.
There are actually people from around the world that come to Laredo for the birding festival,
exactly.
for example. And
yes.
It's amazing. So what was there? Why were people coming? Okay, so I don't remember coming as an elementary kid. I don't know if it was around back then, but I did bring my kids when they were little, and so I do remember. And I remember a few things. I remember the snakes because I don't like snakes, and there's fish, and what else is there?
So pretty much our mission is to showcase what the South Texas flora and fauna is all about. So we try to just show like this is what you find in South Texas. So most of our animals, at the beginning when it was first constructed as an environmental science center, it was just pretty much an educational display, and people started asking, where are the animals? Where are the animals? So that's when, back then, I believe the director was not Mr. Miller, it was Dr. Getzy, Jim Getzy. And then Mr. Miller came on board, and they started kind of, okay, let's start exhibiting what's out there as far as the wildlife part. And people started, it started attracting more people to visit as visitors, right? So it started off as that. It started very small, and now we're at the point where we need expansion. So that's what our mission is still, to be showcasing what is wild. Even though I might tweak it a little bit because now we're having a problem of invasive species. So I want to showcase, okay, this is now what's becoming invasive because people start bringing us in as pets and they release them. So now the invasives are also overpowering our native species. So now we want to kind of showcase, hey, do not buy this as a pet, do not release it, so that way we can showcase a little bit more than just the native. So it will have a native component, an exotic species, and invasive component, because that's usually exotics are what overthrow our native species, right? And I also probably will be looking into bringing an agriculture side of let's say, for example, like our cattle, all the agriculture animals. I might showcase some of that as well.
Ms. Bianca Brewster is joining us. She's the director for the Lamar, Bruni, Vergara Environmental Science Center. What are your big draws right now, or before you close for the renovation? What would people really love to come see?
Oh, the alligators.
Oh, I forgot about the alligators.
I was tasked to rehome 5 American alligators that were. When I visually measured them, I thought they were like 8 feet. But when they did come to relocate them, they're like, ma'am, these are not 8, these are like 12, 15 feet alligators. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, we never got the chance to go out there and measure them, right? So I was tasked to find homes for our alligators. And I did. They ended up in South Carolina.
Okay.
So that was before, they're like, you have a deadline. You need to get them out of here by then.
Yeah.
So I looked everywhere like crazy, and I finally found a contractor that was willing to come down, because alligators are a dime a dozen.
Yeah,
Believe it or not.
I didn't know that. I thought
So
they were pretty common. But they're not
I'm
native to this
sorry,
area.
not a dime a dozen. They're
Plentiful?
plentiful.
Okay, there you
yes,
go.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
I'm sorry
you're
about
good.
that. They are everywhere. So people don't want to.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so you no longer have alligators for the
Right
Environmental Science Center?
we did away, not did away, but we rehomed our big game.
Right.
The only one that we did keep was Peter, or deer, because his enclosure was not going to be touched. Javelina, the Javelina Happy, he's already amazingly going to be 20.
What? Okay.
And he's very blind, so we're like, we're not gonna release him.
Okay.
He's just so used to us,
Yeah.
right? And then we also kept our sulcata tortoise. So so those are the 3 main animals that we kept, and besides the reptiles that we keep, in snakes.
Sure.
The snakes and the.
What kind of snakes do you have?
Right now we have we kept the copperhead, and we have I'm already bringing in rattlesnakes, or the venomous species, because we are going to be displaying. So right now I'm kind of collecting. I'm starting to collect, because once we open, I want to have everything ready. But we will have various displays of venomous.
I don't like snakes. I really don't.
Venomous
they scare me.
and some of the invasives.
Do you have to be certified in snake handling?
We do not have to, but for our safety and for my
Yeah.
staff safety, we are getting certified in venomous handling.
Oh, goodness gracious. So alligators are not native to this area, right?
They are.
Really?
They are the American alligators. So
Okay.
they are native to the U.S.
Yeah.
Right now, we all are already finding them in the river, because, like I said, people buy them as pets. They
Yeah.
buy them tiny. They get big. They don't know what to do. And I'm pretty sure that happens on both sides.
So the Environmental Science Center may be home to an alligator in the
We
future.
actually already have a crocodile.
Really?
A baby crocodile.
Oh, baby. How long do they take to grow?
He should be a handful within a year.
So by the time you reopen,
By the time we reopen,
he'll be ready
he's
to
going to
see.
be ready to just go straight into his enclosure.
Okay, that's very interesting. Tell me a little bit about your staff and what they do.
Okay, so right now I do have my wildlife assistants, wildlife technician assistants, and my so pretty much they are in charge of just getting there first thing in the morning, feed the animals. So second thing, maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Third thing is go make sure that they're not sick or any unusual. They make notes and they bring it to my attention. If something is needs medical attention, they bring it to my attention. We take it to the vet. So they kind of their job is to get to know the animals. So they become very familiar with them. The animals get very familiar with them as well. So they get used to them. So that's how we are able to not completely domesticate them, but they get used to us. So right now we also have that we just took in this summer 2 baby bobcats and a baby fox.
Oh, goodness.
So they are also already used to us, right? So they don't mind us. And this is stuff that we need to as kind of introduce ourselves as babies, because we're the ones feeding them. We're the ones catching them for medical attention. So I need that. They're not completely domestic.
They're
like I
always
mentioned.
going to be wildlife.
They're always going to be wildlife.
Yeah, you just never know.
Yeah, you just never know.
So what do you feed bobcats?
They're carnivores, so
right.
they get a little bit of everything.
So no broccoli.
No broccoli. I mean, even though sometimes we try to mix in spinach or kale within their food, no, they still
They're
manage
meat
to
eaters.
pull it out.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, and then what do you feed a rattlesnake or a copperhead?
We do mice.
Okay. Let's talk about the new facility.
Okay.
So what's new about it? What can we expect?
So I'm a bird person. And within the initial design, I asked to see if we could have a walk-in aviary.
Oh, nice.
So it will have a walk-in aviary that it'll be double doors, right? So that the birds don't exit through there. But they're going to be able to fly around, no cages. I mean, cages just to contain them as needed. But it's going to be a very natural area where they're going to have water flow. They're going to be just to be themselves. And you're going to be able to walk in, sit down, just observe them and see if they come up. You could probably feed them. So we'll be having that. The alligator alley is also getting expanded.
Okay.
So we're going to have...
So it's going to be in the same location?
It's going to be in the same location.
Sorry, go ahead.
The only thing that was added was the aviary, which we did expand to the back a little. And then we're also... with the alligator alley, it's now going to be a lot safer for us to go in there to feed. Like I said, we're trying to start off with smaller ones so that we can train them.
Right.
So we are going to be giving them commands. Like the crocodile that we have, the Morlitz crocodile, we're already training it with clickers. And we click, we give a command, and then that way he starts getting used to. Hopefully, we're able to keep him as well. We'll be able to tell by the year, if they do become very, very aggressive, we'll be able to tell, and then we'll probably send them to a sanctuary if we're not able to handle it. But I'm still trying to figure out the wildlife part. And then the cages, the exhibits, they're going to be much larger.
Oh, nice.
So we are going to make sure that they have everything that they need, that they have where to hide if there's rain or if there's hail or whatnot. If there's winter, it's going to be winterized. If it's too hot, they're going to have their fan, there's mister. They're going to be very well taken care of.
Okay.
And the other thing that we are adding is a wildlife care center. So our goal is to, we are part of the college, so we want to introduce we do have a lot of students that are becoming, or that are interested in becoming a veterinarian, right? So what do you do? So what we can offer, at least at my level, is the wildlife rehabilitation part. I'm a certified wildlife rehabilitator, so and I work very well with a local veterinarian. So we are going to have a vet center where we're going to be able to teach the students how do you raise a baby bird or an orphan bird, or how do you treat a minor wound? Nothing surgical or anything, at least not under my capacity, but maybe under a veterinarian we'll be able to kind of show students what's it like to be a veterinarian.
That's so exciting. And it's about education.
Yes.
This environmental science center is going to be about education.
Yes, it is.
Do you have a favorite of all of them? You personally?
As far as to what? Wildlife?
Animals, yeah.
I am, like I said, I'm a bird person. I love big birds, but I want to say that the osprey is my favorite.
I don't know which bird that is.
I've
heard the name.
It's a fish hawk. It's just, that's one of my favorites.
Isn't that dangerous?
Yes, but like I said, everything with training and you know what to do.
Do we have one?
The what?
Do you have one of those birds? An osprey?
No, I don't have my license yet, but I'm getting my training.
Okay, so
as
coming
soon as I get there, we'll probably, hopefully, if we can bring falconry, that would be the best thing to do as well.
The mission for the Environmental Science Center?
The mission is pretty much to educate. There's a lot of information that people don't know about wildlife, or they don't even know how to live with wildlife, right? So our mission is to show them what's here, what lives with us, what to accept, that hey, this is their habitat as well, right? So I want to make sure that people get familiar with what is also their home here as well. So I do sometimes, like I mentioned, I get calls, hey, there's a raccoon or there's a squirrel in my yard, can you come get it? And I'm like, no, it's habitat, there's deer, let it live there. Like I found a possum. Like stuff like that. It's people need this kind of guidance.
And possums are actually beneficial to the environment,
They are very beneficial. They are very beneficial. they're pretty much they clean up trash. So they pick up whatever's left behind, and they eat ticks. So it helps with the tick control in your backyard as well.
We're just not used to seeing. I've never seen a raccoon. I don't think.
They're nocturnal. I do get the calls like, oh, it's because it's coming to eat my cat's food. I'm like, well, take it off at night. Like just bring the cat food in. Bring the food in and just serve it in. Yeah. So just the way to control. I mean, there are some issues with wildlife that unfortunately are out of hand. But not just here, all over, especially like wild hogs. I also get, how do you control wild hogs? I'm like,
they're very invasive.
Very invasive. So we need to kind of educate the community. Hey, this is what to do and what not to do.
How excited? Are you excited?
Oh, very excited.
Awesome. Ms. Bianca Brewster. And if people have questions about the Environmental Science Center in the meantime, because once you're open again, you're going back on the field trips and tours and all of that, right?
Field trips, tours, career days, education presentations. We're going to be serving the community as far as putting up booths wherever we're requested. So we'll be out there as soon as we're back up and ready.
In the meantime, if somebody has a question?
In the meantime, they can contact us at 956-764-5701. We are still assisting with injured wildlife. We guide the community what to do in the case of a wildlife encounter.
Email address?
They can email me directly at bianca.brewster@laredo.edu.
Okay, Ms. Brewster, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you in the future with many more exciting things.
Thank you so much.